Halftime Howie here from Pancho's Cantina in Island Park, and we are so excited because our special guest tonight is Katie Duffy Shoemaker with a special book she wrote, Don't Press Send. Katie, tell the folks about it.
This book is a mindful approach to social media. It gives kids guidelines and strategies to use social media with good intent and with safety.
Welcome everyone to another edition of Broadcasting on the Beach with Halftime Howie, and we are thrilled. We have an amazing guest today. She's the author of the great book, Don't Press Send, Katie Duffy Shoemaker. I think I said it right. And the do's and don'ts, a mindful approach to social media. And we have a lot of questions. But Katie, first of all, let's get into your background, where it all started, and the motivation for writing this book.
Well, I am a teacher by trade, and I have been home raising my 3 teenagers who are absolutely immersed in technology and social media. And I saw firsthand in my home how they were growing up drastically different than I was growing up. And some of the things were positive, and many of them were unfortunately negative. So I went to my children's open school night, and they were talking about all the problems technology was bringing into the schools and into the community. So I decided to go ahead and try to create something by giving kids guidelines and strategies to use social media. Because I feel that it is absolutely necessary to have rules and regulations. There's rules in our schools, there's rules in society, yet in a cyber community, it's more like the Wild West. Anything goes, and we see what happens when we do not give kids rules. We have unbelievable amount of cruelness online. We know that children have ended their lives because of cyberbullying. And it's not only cyberbullying, it's also about safety as well. That children are talking to people they don't know online. There are many, many, many things that we need to address in this generation of children growing up with technology.
And Katie, let's talk about how this book has made an impact on some of the schools in Long Island, and also the fact that you've been able, through this book, to really make an impact in the communities. You give lectures, and I know you have a huge event coming up. So talk about the fact that this book is making a difference, about you spreading the message to school districts and doing lectures and hosting really big events that is going to gain a lot of knowledge for people out there that really need an education on social media.
Well, first of all, this generation of children are growing up with parents who ill prepared them for what was ahead, not because we didn't care, we didn't know, we didn't grow up with technology. So when I started in my own community of Rockville Center, teaching the children what I call cyber civics, many of the teachers lived in other towns, and they said, can you come to my district? Can you come to my district? So this is my 4th year, and I've gone all the way from East Hampton to Manhattan, to Connecticut, to Boston, to many schools, to spread my message of kind and careful online communication. And because I couldn't go everywhere, and because I saw the need was so great, I said, I'm going to write a book. I also developed an app. The app's been downloaded in 13 countries, which is simply the pledge, the Don't Press Send pledge, which is a guideline of lists that teaches kids how to use technology kindly and safely. My next big event would be at the end of this month. I'm doing a TED Talk, which the TED event is being held at Adelphi University with 10 other wonderful speakers, and I'm very excited about spreading my message.
The date and time?
March 31st. It's from 9 a.m. till 3 o'clock. It's an event all day at Adelphi. So all the speakers will be speaking, and their message is what now is their topic, and it's words that inspire. So we have some really great speakers lined up that day. I'm happy to be part of this panel.
Awesome. That's great. And Katie, you ready to take some questions from my staff members? And
Sure am.
Our first staff member is John Paul Zuher, who has a few questions for Katie. So John Paul, take it away.
Well, I just have 2 points to point out that I really enjoyed from the book, what I've perused of it so far, and that is teaching children to ask, is what I'm posting positive? Is what I'm posting negative to somebody? And the idea that, would you really say what you just PM'd that person in real life? Would you say it to their face? Because the screen offers a lot of anonymity. And my question is, for me, in a collective sense, a lot of people, why am I and why are we spending so much energy arguing online?
Well, there's a few questions there. One of the things that I think is the culprit of why people are so unkind online and why cyberbullying is truly such a problem, it is a international epidemic, is that the screen itself is an emotional disconnect. So when people, as humans, we rely on body language. And if I say something and I insult you or say something mean, I see what your body's doing and I get a knot in my stomach and it's telling me something. And as children, we use that as a guide. I call it, when I do my presentations, I teach them that's your compass, that's guiding you. And when it's going, ugh, it's teaching you, uh-oh, that's not nice. And most kids push that envelope and they learn and they say, I don't want to do that. Because even if a kid doesn't like someone, usually they'll back off.
Right.
So the screen, they write something mean and they don't see the person. And then they get used to, first it's just making fun of someone's shoes, and then they get to such a level that they think that this is okay. So a cyber community is not a kind place right now.
Right.
It is kids are anxious. We have cyber psychologists now. One of the therapists that I worked on with this book, she was telling me about the level of anxiety. Besides the instant gratification, kids don't feel safe. I felt safe in my community. I knew my neighbors were watching me. I knew what the rules were, and rules make kids feel safe. So I do tell kids, one of the pledges is, do not write things that you would not say face to face. I tell them to ask themselves, before you press that button, always ask yourself, how would this make me feel if I received it? Those are skills that we need to teach this generation. The other question you asked was about negativity and getting online and having arguments. We all saw this election. We all saw even how people were so at each other. Now, I can have an opinion and you can have an opinion. I'm a grown-up and I can value your opinion or not value it. That doesn't mean it has to be aggressive. Again, the level of cruelness online got very high because people were so angry and the screen disconnected. You're not going to yell at someone saying your opinion. At least I would hope not. I live in a civil society. I speak to people, and if I do, I have to check myself. But when there's a screen, no one has to check anybody. I can say what I want, or I can write something unkind and then put a little emoji. And I teach kids, guess what? Writing LOL after something unkind doesn't make it kind. Putting a little emoji, and there's so many other things. Perception, you know how hard it is to understand someone's perception?
Right. Well, like you said, 90% of our communication is physical.
Yes.
So for me to convey a light tone, if I don't say LOL, someone's like, why are you mad at me?
Right.
You know, it is
But
crazy.
I can tell you, I can say, you know what? I really like your sweater, and you know, I really like your sweater.
Right.
I can write, I really like your sweater, and put an emoji. And if you're a girl and an insecure,
Right.
that's what most is she making fun of my sweater? Does she like my sweater? Oh my gosh, these 300 people saw that. She's making
But then
fun
you're
of my
also
sweater.
saying it allows the leeway for someone to be like, hey, I think your shoes are ugly, LOL.
Right.
And that's not okay.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
But we're teaching children that it is.
Many things are accepted
Right.
that should not be. And I grew up at a time where manners and values mattered. And I do think that that still matters. I think what happens is the screen went up and all of a sudden the rules don't apply anymore. They still apply. The rules are the same on and offline. Be kind, be respectful. You don't have to like everyone, but you do need to respect everyone.
Excellent. I have a couple of things I want to touch on. Is that I talked earlier, is that a couple of things that drive me crazy is I'll be in a subway or a bus and there'll be 10, 12 people, mostly in their 20s and 30s, and they're on their cell phone the entire time. They never look up, they never make eye contact, they're on the cell phone. The other thing, and Jean-Paul was a waiter, server, people go to a restaurant and through the entire meal, they're texting. They don't communicate with people they're having lunch with or dinner with, they're on their cell phone. Talk about that behavior and what can be done for that type of obsessive behavior?
Well, we all know these devices are addicted. We all are to some extent or another. One of the reasons why this book was titled A Mindful Approach to Social Media, and mindfulness is a word that you're going to be hearing, and I'm sure you already have. It is a movement right now, and I am thrilled it is movement. I did not need to be taught to be mindful in my day because I woke up, I went out in the streets, I was engaged, and I was active in this. I had no distraction. Today, that is not the thing. So now we need to teach children to be present. We need to teach them to go to an event, take their pictures, because they're memories. I like my pictures, then the phone goes away. You don't go to someone's party, graduation party, and do this the whole time. Oh no, I don't like that one. Do it again, oh, video. 3-hour event, and they missed it. You're there for someone's bar mitzvah, sweet 16, to celebrate someone else. It's not about you. So we want to teach children to be engaged, to be mindfully engaged. What mindfulness offers is a more present life, an engaged life, and a fulfilling life. And these children need these skills. And there are so many skills that mindfulness offers: regulating emotions, being present and engaged, teaching kids to pause before they post, think before you click, respond, not react. It's everything is instant. And that's not how you make good decisions. You have to think things through.
Absolutely.
I agree.
All right, we've come to the end of this segment. Hope you enjoy it. Again, the book is called Don't Press Send. And Katie, let's end this segment. Let's end all the segments with, how can people get a copy of this book?
This book is available on Amazon. You could also get it on my website, don'tpresssend.org, which I highly recommend you going on. You could also download the app for free. And on the website, it's always updated with newest apps that are out there, things to be aware of, positives. There's many positives about social media as well.
All right, we've come to the end of segment 1. More with Katie Duffy Schumacher coming up later in the show.